Good morning, Wrecking Explorer fans. Today we're working on the truck again. However, there will be a ham radio sitting around, so you may hear the occasional transmission come across. What we're working on today is going to be a burned out headlight on my Ram 2500. So here's the truck. You can kind of see that passenger side headlight is out. All right, so to get started, obviously, I'm going to pop the hood.
Good morning. Welcome to the W4BF repeater CL88.5.
I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer here so you can see what we're working with. So in order to get down to the headlight bulb, you can't just stick your hand in there. There's no way, you know, it's all filled up with stuff. What you're going to have to do first is remove this fan shroud right here. It's not really a fan shroud, it's just kind of a cover. It says heavy duty. The way you do that is by removing these 4 plastic tabs. So you have one here, 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 and here. Now, I'll be quite honest with you. I don't have the right tool to do this, so I'm going to try something. This is a fork. Now, I'm modifying it so I can use it to pry up the fasteners. Now, I don't want to hear it. Don't make any post on my profile or on my video that you broke your wife's fork, you know, now you're getting a divorce, and let's not go there. All right, let's see here. Now, let's see what this does. All right, so here we have this tab, which is actually set really well. I'm gonna start it. If I can just kind of bring it up a little bit without cutting my finger off, and just kind of loosen it up enough to get underneath there. See if my, look at that. All right, so I'm going to use my little fork puller I made here. I'm going to set the knife down so we don't cut ourselves. If we can, I mean, it works. There is a proper tool. There's a tool they make. I don't know what it's called, but it looks like this. And it's a little bit more sturdy. This side guy here. Alright, now this guy down here is going to be a little tricky. I don't want to mess up this radiator hose here. There's some stuff around this we don't want to mess up on this side. So we're just going to take our time and work this bad boy out of here. It's almost out. The fork puller is failing me. There we go. We got it. All right, and then this shroud is supposed to just lift off. Now there's a connector here for the hood latch, so you want to be careful not to finagle that. Here we go. All right, So the next step is we have to remove 4 bolts in the grill. So there's a bolt here, there's a bolt here, there's a bolt here, and there's a bolt here.
AN4 OSU monitoring.
Now we'll try to figure out what side's on. Oh, looks like it's a 10. Now, when I was researching this, I was told in the video that I watched that the outside bolts are slightly longer and the inside ones are slightly shorter, so remember to put those slightly longer ones on the outside. And you turn the bolt counterclockwise, obviously, to remove it. It's really interesting to look at this thing. It's crazy how many radiators are on it. I think I'm staring at 4. That wasn't very hard. You can definitely see. I'll show this to you guys on camera. See how that bolt is longer and got a different thread pattern? Those go on the outside, and then the smaller ones go on the inside. All right, over to this side, the busy side. All right, now, this grill has some snap-in fasteners on it. And you're supposed to be able to just snap it off. I have this push bar that was on the truck when I got it here, so I'm not sure how that's going to impact this, but we're going to find out. Now that was pretty easy, I got to say. That was way easier than I thought. Will it go back on that easy? To be determined. All right, now I'm going to take this grill and I'm going to set it off somewhere where it's not going to get stepped on or destroyed. Now, to get the headlight out, there's a couple of things you got to do. Remove the headlight assembly. This bolt has to come out. And this bolt here, this bolt. But that's not all. there's a trap door underneath the wheel well.
4 OSU, monitor.
Under here, there's a trap door you have to open, and then there's a pin you have to pull down. So I'll show you that here when we get to that point. Let's see if Dodge decided to stick with the 10mm. What should I say he got? Oh, that's nice and loose. So that's gonna come out of here. And a little, I'll show you something here in a minute. But this headlight housing attachment here has a crack in it. I don't like that. Can't really see it, maybe. I'll see from the camera footage, but there's a crack here. It doesn't look like it's affecting its operation. Maybe it's a little tighter than it needed to be. It felt loose. All right.
W4BFT repeater.
I want to make sure you keep a hold of all these bolts, obviously. All right, so here, I see the best way to approach this here. Pretty easy. Now, similar to the grille, these bolts that you've taken out of the headlight assembly are different lengths. And get this guy out of here. You see, the one on the bottom that I'm fighting here is much longer. But he's got to come out. Yeah, there he goes. All right. So again, top bolt that goes in, bottom bolt that goes in this way. And you can see that the bottom bolt is longer. Now, I've not done this before, but I'm gonna see how it works out. There's a trap door supposed to be behind this light. Let's see if we can get it in the video here or not. All right, guys, and I'll be honest with you, I am now on the ground underneath the truck. There is a white tab in there. It's high and far back, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get a picture of it, but I'm gonna try one more time. All right, so the tab You can kind of see it now. The tab is way up there, and I just pushed it up, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that tab back down after we reinstall the headlight assembly. All right, so supposedly with that tab down, this bolt and that bolt removed, the housing should slide out. Let's see what happens. Seem to slide out quite easily. Now, when you pull this out, there's obviously wires attached to the back of it. All right. Oh, this is interesting. This is a little different than what I was expecting. So when I was watching the video on my truck originally, there was another set of bolts on the back of this that you unbolt, and that would get you down into the light bulb. Now, another interesting thing about this truck, when I looked this up at Advanced Auto to get the bulbs, it came up as an H11. And interestingly enough, in the dashboard, it actually says low beam light out passenger side. H11, my understanding is you'd normally have two different light bulbs. However, this bulb that the truck actually takes is an H13, which is an all-in-one bulb. It has your high beam and your low beam in one. And thank goodness I went to AutoZone and the guy stopped me from making an idiot mistake. And it actually tells you down here on the lens that it takes H13. Now, it would be a good idea to have a table or something to sit this on. Right now it's hanging by the zip tie, which is not ideal. I'm turning the light clip counterclockwise, pulling it out. And here is our dead bulb. Now, it doesn't look dead, but apparently it's dead. So we are going to have to unplug this wiring harness from the base of this bulb. Now, you saw me just grab the front of that bulb. Don't do that with your new bulb. You don't want the grease from your hand to get on the bulb, because when it gets hot, it could have caused the bulb to explode. So you'll be wearing gloves for that piece. Okay, there goes the bulb coming out. I'm looking at the bulb out of curiosity, looking for a broken filament, and I'm not seeing one. It's somewhat nerve-wracking to me. Perhaps something else is going on with the light bulb. Anyways, grab a needle. I should try to gently get into this package without damaging the light bulb. Oh, by the ways, like everything on a 2500 Cummins, they're not cheap. This light bulb was $62 for the 2-pack. Now, yes, there is a cheaper version. I think you can get one for like $40. All right. However, I was wanting my lights a little bit brighter. And again, I found out kind of after the fact that though the Superstar Ultra blah 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 light here is supposed to be brighter, it may not last as long. Again, I found that out after the fact. So it's worth considering because you can see there's a considerable amount of effort to get to this board. And even though I have this glove on, I'm still trying not to touch the glass because, you know, what if I got some skin oils on the glove, you know? So you can hold it by the base. That doesn't look good. Let's look at the other side of this board. Oh, it looks like it has some arcing in it. This plug looks like it may be burned up. But let's see what happens. Let me just slide that in there. Try to. May not be the right bowl. Not sure about this, but I think it needs to go farther into that. Let's pull it back up. What?
AG4VN. AG4VN. 4G10. Are you around?
And that guy is a little messed up.
In a minute, you could catch your breath, buddy. What's going on up in Bighorn?
Now look at the other one again for a second.
Oh, okay, buddy. I didn't know it. Just thinking about you. Thought I'd give you the hell up there and see what was going on.
So I noticed on the other bulb, there's a plastic vein on top of this bulb here.
Seems like every time I
Really handy
talk to you, you got limbs to get up out the yard. You must be got a lot of that fall a good bit.
It's kind of bent over. Let's see if I can finagle this one over. Though there's something wrong with the socket. I mean, you know, I can see melting in the socket, so it either shorts it out or something. So it would likely be going to RAM to have that plug replaced. Yeah.
Take a while to come around and get it all up. You hadn't heard Pete maybe yesterday or anything last night, did you? No, I didn't. I've been monitoring the union and this repeater too, and hadn't heard him.
Let's try this. See if we can get it in now without forcing it so much.
Touch base with you on that.
Let's see if it comes on now.
You don't have no football. That should not come to an end, buddy. Football anyway. Deal. So there's no more college.
Well, hey, it's working.
That's what I love on Saturday.
I mean, I'll take it. But
I don't really get into the NFL.
that socket is not looking good on the inside of there. I'm really disappointed with that.
But I do call follow the call. None of that's going on right now, buddy. That's over with for the year.
Hey, Mr. Red Guy, I'd like you to replace this socket for me. Well, that'll be, you know, $600. Now, this clip, I tell you, it looks like the clip came apart. However, as tight as that son of a bitch is in there, I don't think it matters, but when you go back in there, that's a good question. Oh, hey, it did go back in there. Okay, happy with that. And it seems to be well seated.
Most probably will, buddy. I probably won't watch very much of it. I sure won't, Marty, and everything.
This is the other side of that white strip that
Thinking
locks
about
it
you,
in place
thought
here.
I'd give you a call and touch base with you this morning, see how you were doing.
I should have shown you guys a close-up of that plug. There's 3 center conductors for the bulb, and the plug has melting on it. You can tell it arced at one point, and that's got me less than happy. You know, I like to take really good care of my truck. Part of me wants to say, hey, that plug has got to be replaced. Well, that's what we got right there.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk to you later, Marty. You take care, buddy. We'll
I
talk
don't have
to
it
you
now.
another time. AG4B and W4GT in Georgetown. Good morning.
What I'm doing now is some indentations for this bulb to go into, light up against. Now what happened there is that I was trusting that, actually, I was trusting that zip tie too much. As again, you'll see, I'm not a mechanic. You'll see me do, there's the mechanics will laugh at. All right. This thing reminds me of what happens to people who didn't want to be on the field. By the way, is that thing turning that light bulb on to see if it light up? Before I put the assembly back together, I learned that from watching other mechanics in a video. It occurred to me, why don't I always do that? Good thing to do. You don't want to put this thing back together and then realize the bulb's not working. So at several stages during this, I'm going to check to see the bulb's working. This tab has to end up back on top of this flange, if you like a better word, where it's going to sit. Tab is probably a better word. Behind the light is a pin right here that we're lining up with that white hole. You want to be cognitive of where the wire's going. I don't think I can. You can feel it when it clicked in. It's got a real definite seating, you know. And what I'm going to do now is reach up under and pull that white tab bag down. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to check and make sure the light's still working. All right, light's still working. We've got light. It's on and burning. Good stuff. And the parking light. Now, I'm told that you're supposed to replace these things in pairs. This one, I almost don't want to mess with the other one, but I'm going to. Where's that little tab? Wait, little bastard. Alright. I'll pull it better out these. There it goes. That took a little bit of doing, but it works. Now, since I was shaking it all around again, I'm just going to check the light one more time. So we know from earlier, the long bolt goes in the bottom.
9 AM W4BFT repeater PL88.5.
Here the local Buford County repeater, the Brad Club. That's the repeater checking in there. Get some start on that bad boy. I'm going to grab the other one. And again, there's a little crack here in the top of the plastic that this headlight assembly. I'm going to try to be very careful not to get it tight enough that it's not wobbling around. I wonder if somebody used a drill on it or something. I've seen some videos where people use drills on it. I mean, this is plastic. You know, I wouldn't do that. I don't know how much these assemblies cost. I haven't looked them up, but I bet they're pretty expensive. Because you just say $2,500 and it seems like the price doubles. I mean, the part could be the same size. If you say $2,500, everything triples in price. You know, you say oil change on a Cummins, and they say $500, plus or minus. Doesn't cost that much to do an oil change on Cummins. Probably going to be one of my next do-it-yourself videos. Same thing with the fuel filter, guys. A lot of this stuff is you can service yourself until you run into something like that socket. Luckily, it still works. And to be honest, I could probably change that socket myself too. They sell the socket plugs online. You know, there's tools and clips. You just put the wire back in the socket and clip the shit together. But when you're working on your own vehicle, sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking, and that's normal. You don't want to fuck it up. You don't want to mess it up. I'll edit the other one out.
Good morning.
Didn't increase the crack, so that's good. Alright, now we'll go over to the other side. Now, this side hasn't burned out yet.
KQ4TAY, W9JH.
W9JHM, this is KQ4TAY. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm mobile on, 170, heading down to Pooler, so maybe I check and make sure that you hadn't changed your mind.
You know, I finished the first headlight, and I'm now starting on the second one. We'll see. If it ends up going quicker than I thought, I might run down there, but it's taking a little bit of time. Yeah?
I gotcha. Okay, well, hope it goes well, hope it goes quick, and see you down there if you can. There's going to be a couple of tours, so, I want to see Nate Stone's layout again, and I see somebody else's. That'd be great. So, anyway, I'll talk to you later. Have fun doing your work, and stay warm. This is KQ4TAY's W9JHM 73.
Yeah, John, have fun, and hopefully I make it down there eventually. KQ4TAY. All right, so as you can see, there is some other things I could be doing today, but I'd rather not pay somebody an exorbitant amount of money to change these headlights if I can accomplish it myself without breaking anything or so forth, And I'll be honest, I guess I'm an hour into this at this point, but I was expecting it to be like 4 hours, and so I still have quite a bit to go. I've got to get this headlight out, open the trap door, find the clip, pull the clip down. I want to be a little more careful when I remove the socket assembly from the back of the bulb assembly this time. It's things like that stuff. Very fragile. And I'm really curious to find out if there is any evidence of arcing on this side. Now this light does some interesting things, and so this light has always been brighter than the other one. And this light works right now, so you might ask, well, why are you? If you go down and hang out with the guys, and why are you flexing with that light? Well, a couple of reasons. One, hoping that it equalizes with the other one if I replace the bulbs at the same time. Two, this headlight seems to be pointing off and up into space and driving down the road, off to the left. I'm curious what I'm going to find back here. Is the assembly open or something? Is it just not aimed right? Is it simply? I don't know. Find out. And I think, honestly, after doing this, it's probably better to take this bottom bolt out first. It's got a really weird catch assembly for the base of the bolt. Looks like it's probably designed to have some kind of adjusting ability. Maybe that's part of the AV system. Possibly. Sure. I should probably look at that at some point. Maybe I can get it to point down the road instead of at the oncoming driver. Something I've got to study is how to aim these things. My understanding is there's adjustments if you come down from the top with a really long ratchet or something. You know, one thing I hate about these Dodge headlight assemblies, you know, they have a beautiful truck, and we don't have one of these headlight assemblies that fills up with moisture. And I hate that. You ever see that? If you're a dealer and you're selling one of these trucks, get rid of that moisture. You know, it makes the truck look like shit. I've looked at trucks on dealer lots. I'm like, man, that's a beautiful truck. And then you see that headlight full of moisture, it just looks horrible, you know? Let that screw go. I'm starting to see some of what might be going on with this headlight assembly over here. This is going to be fun. It's just coming out of there now. What you're probably not seeing very well on the camera is that there's a weird geared aiming, I think, kind of system on the bottom of this bolt. On this side appears to be not 100%. Maybe that's why it's pointing off the driver. Maybe some point I'll replace it. This could be a problem. Remember, longer bolts on the bottom. All right. Now we've got to get under here, which is a pain in the ass. And try to finagle this bad boy open. All right. And then, so we're up in here. There's a tab. You got to push it up. And that little tab. Be able to feel it after that, I think. There's a bolt there, right behind it is the tab. So why can't I? Ah, there it is. Nope, is that it? That's it. Alright. Bolt tab. Okay. if this one's going to be as nice to us. Now I'm sensing some tension on the wire here. So I'm going to be really careful with this side. This is interesting. But that's as far as we're going to go with it. Why is there 2 wires on this side? I guess the other wire just had more slack on it, so I didn't notice it. The hose that comes down through here, I want to be careful of that hose. It's a soft rubber hose. I don't know what it's for. Come on, baby. There we go. Alright. Now, a couple of things I noticed right off on this side. Well, this is a different bulb. Nothing appears to be wrong with the headlight assembly, except for this assembly down here. This appears to be janky. And I'm not exactly sure how to fix this. I'll be YouTubing that. I'm guessing you can buy a replacement for that holding assembly there. Missing a little bit. What? Ended up knowing was prying against these side pins here. See how the inside of the socket looked like it's been fried, melted, arced, burned, whatever fancy mechanical word you want to use. Now, I learned on the last one, and I went to put it back in. When you look at these bulbs on the top here, you'll notice that this top fin is kind of bent in. On the new bulb, that'll be straight. And so I took my knife blade and just kind of finagled it that way a little bit. It went right in. All right, like I said, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna pin it in just to here. See if it works better this time. Alright, so that kind of works. I'm gonna try to see if we can get it. Oh, muscle man. You know, I believe it's this bulb. May not be exactly right now. Let's see if it comes off. Well, it's lighting up. Looks good. Go. Now. Do get this up off using your finger. And also what I want to do, if I can, is get those clips. So like this here clip, I want to get back into the assembly so the wires aren't just dangling like, you know, get away. All right, so let's see if I can do that. Work. Alright, it's in there. I didn't really think about this on the other side, but if you really want to see plug well, you can do it once it's in the assembly. I don't know what that is. So put these guys back into place. Alright. Now that little white thing down there is what you're going to line up that little screw nipple with. That's right there. And this side, this is the driver's side. The wiring seems to be a lot more in the way or noticeable. On the other side, I hardly even noticed it. But I could see how you could easily, you know, pinch this wire here. So I'm going to be careful to try not to do this. And you see, really, one thing I really like, when I put that nipple into that receiver, it gives you a real positive response. And that is connected. So you know that it's sat right. Again, you want to make sure that this attachment arm here sits on top of that assembly, and that lines up kind of well. And then I would not put these bolts in until you tighten this or pull this clip back down on the inside of the wheel well, because on the other side it took some doing of shaking that around. Let's see how it happens on this side. So you know that by touch, that if I can find that bolt head next to that flat lever, where's the bolt? Where are you at? All right. So that one came right now, and I can feel that it's locked in. So that's great. Easy. Now I'm going to pause and check the headlight. So we have headlights on both sides. Are they aimed properly? Probably not. That's going to be another video. One thing I want to remember to do is put these cut these lights off before I put them on the batteries. Now, this sharp bolt back in here. Sharp bolt goes on the top. And, you know, it's been nice that everything on this project has been 10 millimeter. When I did the batteries, on the passenger side, there was an 8 millimeter mixed in. Not sure why. Not sure why, Stellantis. Long screw goes on the bottom. All right, so the next step is to put the grill back on. Before we do that, we're going to check the lights again. working. This light is working. All right, good. All right, so the grill. So the video I watched gives some really good instructions on how to do this. We're going to take the grill, we're going to put it back, we're going to center it with the body. There are pins that line up here and here, and here. We're going to want to line those up and smoothly and solidly reinstall the grill. Not roughly, but in solid movement. I'm still amazed that there's like 4 radiators I'm staring at here. But here is our grill. I need to clean this grill. It just snowed here recently, and man, it made the truck dirty. But took it to the car wash. It cleaned up the truck pretty well, but this grill is still dirty. Now, once it's interesting, if you haven't done this before, there's actually like a. This thing lines up. Let me get that out in the water. Oh no, those are clips. See those clips on the bottom and the clips in the middle. Alright, so center it with the body. You see where our bolts are at. That's good. Alright, so I'm going to apply some pressure to the bottom. Yeah, that was not very graceful, but there's some pressure on the bottom there. And then it kind of hinges up into the top tube. There you go. And it's back in. Really, so, we have 14mm bolts put back in the top. We know that our longer bolts with the larger thread pattern are on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and start all of these a little bit. And then I'll come back. You guys ever like just watching your truck run? I love just watching my truck run, man. I just love the way that comes motor sounds. I'm doing this at exactly what I think is right. But again, keeping in mind, this is plastic. If you feel tension and maybe go a little bit farther, that's really it. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of common sense to know plastic will crack, right? That's tension. Just a little further. That's all I do. Some mechanic might say, well, you need to go exactly X amount of pressure. You know, if I was working on a head gasket or something, absolutely. That shit has to be right. The plastic grill, yeah, it should be right too, but I'll have a little more tolerance on that. Alright, so she's back in and she's tight. Now, you have to put this shield back. And guys, don't leave this kind of stuff off your truck, okay? If you're gonna do it right. So, oh, you need to set that back under that radiator hose, okay? And, need to get that behind that radiator. And we have a bolt that goes here. Not a bolt, pin, a plastic shim pin. Excuse my French, I'll edit that out. It's a plastic pin. Alright, so take the plastic pin. And we'll stick it down in here. There you go, really easy. Oh, this other one on this side. Here. And it's easy too, it's just not as easy. I had to get it down through the shield there. Alright, so there's 2 more of these. And I'll crank it up for just a minute, make sure one of those people like me that just likes to see it coming from Alright, so let's come back around front here. All in all, we've accomplished our goal. We've replaced both of the headlights. We've reassembled the truck, and it looks to be correct. Everything looks good. Let me raise this up a little bit. Whenever I work, you know, I've been not a mechanic on cars, but I've had other electrical mechanical engineering jobs for a long time, and it's really easy to forget, you know, a tool or something in a motor or something we're working on. So I'm just going to visually inspect here and make sure I haven't left anything lying in or around the engine bay that the engine's going to eat and destroy it. I really need to clean this truck because it gets pretty rough. Let's crank her up and try out the light. I mean, not anywhere near as bad as I was thinking. I was kind of dreading it, to be honest, but just goes to show you. Do it yourself. Save the money.